Welcome everybody to episode number 72 of Gaming Culture Radio. I am your host, Tyler, joined as always by our three co-hosts. Let's start with Graham. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. It was beautiful Canadian weather day, I guess. Maybe not even Canadian weather because it is December and it's like 8 degrees. We're out playing football. So it was a great time. How are you guys doing?
Now that's 8 degrees Celsius.
Celsius.
Yeah.
That's in Canadian language.
Yes, Celsius. So, also joining us is Eugene. How are you today?
I hurt my ribs today. I pulled a Clark Griswold on the ladder putting up Christmas lights, but I didn't break anything.
You didn't stable gun yourself to the eaves trough, did you?
No, I didn't do any of that. I wasn't actually on the roof. I was just using a ladder and, just fell on the actual ladder itself. So at least I didn't hit the ground.
Ouch.
Yep.
Well, that sucks. Glad you're okay. Did you shut down a block of, electricity?
Nope.
Okay.
Just shut down myself, shut down my lungs for a minute.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
Fun.
Well, glad you're all right. And joining us is Steve. How are you?
I'm doing good. I just got my tickets to PSX, so I'm excited for that this coming weekend.
So we're trying to work out getting Steve to get us some extra content from the show. We'll see how that works out, what opportunities present themselves, etc. And we're going to kind of work on that throughout the week, but hopefully we'll be able to bring you some stuff from PSX. And if nothing else, we'll get a report back on the event itself. Are you thinking about going to any of the panels or anything, or just kind of being around the floor?
Well, I'm meeting up with a couple people from another group, and so whatever they want to do, I'm down. I don't have any real panels I want to hit.
Okay.
But I'm excited to just see. I've never been to a convention, so this will be the first time. So it'll just be a new experience, and I'll take it in as it comes.
So you'd want to try to play Spider-Man? I'm guessing some of these lineups are probably super long, so you'd have to sacrifice time at other booths. So
yeah, I'm down to watch it be played, but I'm of the mindset I don't like playing games before they come out because then I just get the hype level, and then I don't want to play anything else. Like I don't want to play anything until that game comes out, and then so now I have 2 months of not having fun playing stuff because I'm waiting on one game, so I don't like doing that.
So, if you're there, and you happen to see Steve, in case you know what he looks like, say hi to him, and let us know if he told you what he should be telling everybody there next week, and that's to listen to our show. And you can do that too. Travis is doing right now, but please make sure you do it every week. And the best way to do that is hit the subscribe button on iTunes or whatever podcast platform you have. Also, head on over to Facebook and join the Gaming Culture Radio forums. And when you're there, submit questions to be read on the show, and you'll be entered into our monthly giveaways, and in the month of December, our weekly giveaways for our holiday season prizes. So, with that, we're also, before we get into news, going to announce that we started last night, actually. We kind of did a test one, but we are going to be doing some streaming again, and we're going to be using both Twitch and Mixer. First of all, we're going to be getting our Twitch stream figured out for the actual podcast, so the audio's good and everything's good to go there. We've had some difficulties with that lately. We're going to get that hammered out in the next week and have that up and running for you guys for episode number 73. Also, we're going to be doing some streaming on Twitch individually under the Gaming Culture Radio channel. So we'll be doing that each once a week. So 3 times a week there. Watch Facebook to see. We'll post there when we're going live with those. And once a week we're going to be doing kind of a co-stream on Mixer where we get 3 or 4 of us in there to play. And we did that last night. Got a few viewers, but we're going to be making sure we announce that more. So please head on over and support us. Go on to Mixer and follow us there. Follow us on Twitch. Helps us out quite a bit. We are now determined again to get affiliate status on Twitch, and we need your support to help do that by following and then going on and watching and taking part when we're streaming. So with that, let's head into news. And kind of a slow week, but first off, Nintendo Switch, Graham, you'll be happy to hear, was the best-selling console over Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and was one of the best-selling items period over that time frame. So
not surprised, man.
Good show for them. Yeah, I mean, the console's built a lot of hype over the course of the year, so no real surprise that it's a popular item. And I think for the other ones, even the One X, a lot of people have an Xbox already, so it's not necessarily anything new, just something better that they can upgrade to. Whereas a lot of people might not have a Switch yet and want to get one.
Yeah, another thing is like if you want to play a certain title, then you got to pick up the Switch. But
Mhm.
anything being released out for the Xbox One X, you can play it on the One or the One S. So you don't have to buy a new console. And same with the PlayStation games. Like if you have a PS4 or PS4 Pro, you can play whatever game. So when the game comes out just for the Switch, then it gives people more incentive to buy a new console.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, is there like a major crime going on?
I guess
Where you
there's
live?
like sirens and stuff going on. So I muted it for a second because I was going to try to make sure all the windows are shut. But then Graham stopped talking, so thanks, Graham. So I felt like I had to
I
come
don't know
back
what's going on in your world when you mute.
But I
your
think,
mic.
Graham, I'm in, according to a certain leader, I'm in like the worst crime city in the world. So,
Pretty much.
Start back
Yeah.
this up.
so we'll move on. Next up, IGN published an article summing up the top 10 games and sales on
Yes.
Black Friday.
Breath of the Wild with the accompany the Nintendo Switch.
So we're going to run through it from 10 to 1. Number 10 was Assassin's Creed Origins. Deserves to be on the list. Looks fantastic. I am actually looking forward to playing it.
Mhm.
Same here.
Yep. Number 9, Call of Duty World War II. I'm a little surprised this one wasn't higher. But comes in at number 9.
I'm not.
Number
Yeah,
8.
I think it's the price point.
There was no sales.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Excuse me. I can
Honestly,
see that.
being it on the list is impressive
Sure.
to me.
Number 8, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Ah.
Oh, God.
Also,
You're
no,
such a
no
fanboy.
sales.
Well, I guess
was
it's,
no
yeah, I was
sales,
gonna say there's
Graham.
probably no sales, right?
It was
That's probably,
$60.
that's
Mhm.
the big thing, yeah. The
Number
sales-
7.
Except for 5 minutes on Amazon Prime.
Yeah. Number 7 was Destiny 2. So that actually was marked down at Walmart.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
believe at Target and Best Buy as well.
Yeah, GameStop I think had a sale.
Yep. And probably Amazon. So it was across the board.
Yeah.
Numbers. But I think that's another one of those games. And I think Call of Duty falls into this too. Where if you're going to get it, you're going to get it at launch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or at Christmas for the
Mhm.
little
But-
younger crowd.
Yep. The next game, I think, is a game that was primed for, taking advantage of the sale because that's maybe a game people would have waited on. And that's number 6, South Park, The Fractured Butthole,
Yeah.
which a very fun game.
I keep meaning to play it. Just have so much
Mhm.
other stuff.
Number 5, kind of a surprise to me anyway, Prey.
I think it was
Wow.
the cheapest of like
Yeah.
Black Friday. I want to say
was
it
like
the
20 bucks,
cheapest,
right?
15
Yeah.
Or
$20. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the prices was the big thing about this list.
Yeah. I'll be honest, though, I bought this game back in, May when it came out?
Yeah.
Or June? And I'd
Yeah.
already forgotten about it.
Yeah, I thought about getting it, but I changed my mind. I'm kind of glad I did. The
Oh,
the
be
demo
glad.
actually turned me off.
Yeah, be glad
Yeah,
you did.
I thought about buying it too, and then I
Mhm.
switched it to something else.
Number 4, Dishonored 2.
That was another
Price.
one where there was a bunch of good sales on
Yep.
it. So.
Mhm.
So number 3, and I think 3 through 1 are the type of games that people might have waited on and taken advantage on Black Friday. But number 3, Evil Within 2.
Yeah,
That's
that was
surprising.
well discounted.
Number 2, Middle Earth, Shadow of War.
I bought that, so
Yep.
I'm
Is
in
that
that
the
number.
You
Wolfenstein?
help.
And number 1 is a game that, deserves support, and it's been on sale so many times already. It just kind of gives the indication that this game hasn't performed well sales-wise, so please support it, is Wolfenstein 2, The New
Yeah.
Colossus.
Yeah, I mean that was is on sale as well. I think it's $25 at most retailers.
Yeah.
But no, I just think that most Wolfenstein games in general, and the same thing with Doom, they see pretty quick price drops, and I don't think it's
Yeah.
because of sales necessarily. I just think that Bethesda, especially with those franchises, is just really good with rewarding its audience to
Well,
say, hey, get this
here's-
game for cheap.
Here's why I make the argument it's for sales. When you see a game hit free play weekend on Xbox within the first 60 days after launch, that
Yeah.
kind of hints that the game isn't doing that well, and they're just trying to get people to play it. Because it's a good game. I've played it. I haven't gotten too far into it, but it's good. I just haven't sat down and actually committed to play through it. Keep meaning to, but
Well,
it's a good
But-
game.
Bethesda's one of those companies that they don't necessarily need to keep all their games at $60 for as long as possible because they're
No.
making lots of money on all their other ones. I mean, Skyrim's come out like 7 times, and Fallout 4 has come out like 7 times since the release date, and it's still Skyrim was $60 on the Xbox One,
Yeah.
when it's not on sale. So
Mhm.
I don't think it's a big deal for them to knock their like Wolfenstein's down to $30.
Yeah. So real
It
quick,
gets
let's
people playing.
run through the top 5 movies on Black Friday. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was number 5. War for the Planet of the Apes, number 4. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, Graham,
Wow.
number 3.
Oh.
I bought
That had a gigantic markdown at Amazon, I think, and a couple others.
Yeah.
the digital collection on Xbox, the 6
Mhm.
movie one.
Number 2, Wonder Woman. And
It's
number
great
1 was Spider-Man Homecoming.
Great movie.
So those were your top selling games and movies on Black Friday. And, no giant surprises. It's all sort of the recent stuff, except for like Lord of the Rings and maybe Prey. Although, Steve, for you, Harry Potter A Film Collection was, I think, number 8 on
Ooh.
there.
Is
So
that the
was number
4K
2.
Blu-ray?
No, just the Blu-ray.
Ah.
So.
Yeah.
No 4K collection is going to be in the top 10 because it doesn't have that kind of.
Oh yeah,
like
buying
adoption yet.
audience. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So, although the adoption rate for 4K is much faster than it was for HD at this same point in the life cycle. So, but anyway, let's move on. Steve, here's something that I think you'll be interested in. I was too. The Destiny 2 game director, Eric Osborne, says that they need to give hardcore players more reasons to log into the game, and he acknowledged that after the first month or so, things to do in the game, quote, sort of dry up, end quote, and that they're letting hardcore players down.
Yes.
You agree?
I'm being
Yeah.
let down.
Yes, I don't even count myself as a hardcore player, but I'm already max light level on one character, and I'm not one of those guys that are going to play the 3 characters. They're just too much good games, and I have no reason or drive to do that. But like we've been playing the Nightfall, and we get it done the first time with some random. Though I do think having matchmaking has helped, which I don't think
Yeah,
Destiny
for sure.
1 had. But yeah, the Nightfall is boring now, or not boring, just easy. And then
Yeah, it's easy.
like the raid, it's like, I've done it like 3 or 4 times. Do I really want to do it again?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is no. So I'm hoping this season pass, they add some content, but I don't know if one DLC pack or expansion pass, whatever you want to call it, is going to be enough to bring back the hardcore players for a long period of
Yeah.
time.
What do you think the game needs, or do you think that there's too much good games out there that people are moved on and they won't go back?
It needs end game content is the problem. There's
Mhm.
2 things you can do besides playing multiplayer. It's the raid and the strike. And you can do them in prestige mode, but again, you're just doing the same strike or raid, just harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the problem that a lot of MMOs have. World of Warcraft was one of the only ones. I mean, they had such a high player base, and it's been so long. But I'm sure in the vanilla days of World of Warcraft, they had same issues where the end game was a little lacking. I know the Old Republic did. So
Mhm.
it's just end game content. So they're just gonna have to keep pushing out things for them to do. You're not gonna get people playing that game anymore like constantly. It's gonna be logging on 2 or 3 times a week to run through the strike, the raid, blah
Mhm.
blah blah. But I don't think people are even doing that now.
So, I think-
here's- Go ahead, Eugene. I'm sorry.
Two of the things that I've heard the most complaints about is first is the matchmaking for the strikes. That if that matchmaking is great and everything, but if you find a good group that you play with and you want to stick with that group, you can't. That after every strike, it resets and you have to find a new group to play with. So that was something different from the first one. That once you finish a strike in the first one, that it would continue on with the same fire team. But now it disperses you and
Right.
you have to start over again. The second thing is that just normal strikes, that if you want to play normal strikes, that you can't pick the one that you want to do. They're random. They're at random. So in the last
That's
one,
true.
you're able to pick what strike you wanted to play. So
Yep.
I
Yes.
know
So-
the Nightfall set. The Nightfall set and set last time. But if you just wanted to play a normal strike with some people, you could pick the one that you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Agree. And like Steve and even Graham, when this game first came out, we were playing it every day,
Yes.
every single day, and now it's once a week, maybe. And that once a week is for like an hour, long enough to go in and do the public events and do the Nightfall, and we're done. Right?
Yep. And we didn't do that this weekend, so it's been.
hmm
Yeah, it's been a
So-
long time since I played it too, personally.
Yeah, so the fact that we used to play this every single day, and I'm talking for a good month. So he's pretty much right on with after that first month.
Yeah.
So for a good month, we played this every day. And there were other games that came out that I was really looking forward to. Games like South Park and NHL and FIFA for you, Steve, and other games. Mordor, Graham.
Hmm.
But we still played this every day. And it's because the game is good when there's stuff to do. So I think they need more. I'd like to see more of the quest lines put in from the first game, where you know exactly what reward you're going to get by finishing a certain quest line. So if there's a certain weapon you want or a piece of gear, you can do the quest line for that specific thing and get it.
Have they
gives you
started
something else
seasons
to
yet?
do?
Have they started seasons yet?
Yeah, I think so. No. Seasons
I
start
don't think
with
they have.
DLC.
So
Seasons start
yeah,
next
so
Tuesday.
whenever seasons drop next week, that's when it's going to pick up a lot of take back some of its fan base. But I kind of agree with you about bringing back some things from Destiny 1. I would like to replay some of the strikes from Destiny 1. I don't know if you guys remember. There's one with the ogre that was chained up. That was one of my favorite ones.
Oh
too.
yeah.
Oh, the one
Yeah.
on the moon.
hmm
Yeah, the one on the moon. I mean, there's several strikes that I'd like to replay that were pretty awesome from the first one, and they're a lot more challenging personally. Some of them were from the expansions, especially. So I'd like to see some kind of like time warp mode where you can go and like play some of the past strikes, or maybe they'll do an event where you can play this past strike. Maybe they'll do a nightfall of it or something. That'd be pretty nice.
So are we just
Just something different.
yeah? Are we just getting one new strike with the DLC, or are we getting two?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would hope to.
I kind of think it's just one.
I think it's just one, too. And I think it's what they did from the first game, where the strike is from the story mission. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but one of the first
Oh,
missions on Earth
yes.
from the first game
Mhm.
had you attacking the walker. And,
Yep.
like, that was part of the strike. And it ended with the
Yep.
giant servitor at the end. I
Yep.
think that's what's happening, is what I remember reading.
Okay.
So,
well, I
whether
think,
that's good or bad, I'll let you guys decide.
yeah, and I think Eugene, I think you had something good there with bringing back stuff from the first game. Call of Duty's notorious for this, and they do it well. Halo does this too, where they'll release map packs, and like one of the maps is an old map redone.
Nuketown.
Yep. So
Yeah,
Blood Gulch.
That's what I was looking for.
yep.
Yeah.
So both those games do that with success. Destiny could easily put out 2 strikes per DLC, have one be new or from story mode, and the other one be an old one, just kind of revisited. Would that be that hard? I don't know. Maybe it is. But I'd just like to see a little bit more there to do, because I personally really enjoy the strikes, but when it gets to the point, like Steve said, we go do them in Nightfall and it's, one run through and we're done in, 15, 20 minutes. And then we're like, okay, well, we'll play next week.
Yeah.
That's not fun anymore. And I want to play more. I do. Because I actually like the game. But I don't want to play it over and over and over just for the sake of doing it. So, anything else, guys, on that? Yeah, go ahead,
and
Steve.
I don't want them to think that making loot harder to get is the answer, because
Mhm.
I'm not saying they're going to do that, but if that happens, then it just becomes a grind even more than it already was, and it was already kind of grindy.
Well,
Like,
that was a big issue with the first one, right? A lot of
Yeah,
people
that's why I
heard
stopped
complaining.
playing.
Yes.
Destiny was the grind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you had to do the raid because I think in Destiny 2, you can get 305 light level stuff from the public events, the Nightfall, the
Mhm.
Crucible, and the raid. But in Destiny 1, if I remember correctly, you could only do it from the raid.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Which means, and the drops were kind of terrible, where I got like a shader like 3 weeks in a row. That was not fun. So I don't want them to make it more grindy. They need to add more stuff to do, like more
Yeah.
strikes or even mini strikes. I think mini strikes would be like a bridge gapper.
Yeah, what are they called in there? The adventures or whatever?
Yeah,
Do more of that stuff, but just make it harder.
yeah,
And I think that would be fun. I'd be okay with that.
yep.
Because when we very first started playing the game, the adventures were fun.
Yes, they were.
Like, there were people we played with back then that we don't play with now that really liked that. So,
Yes.
but for players like that, it's, that aren't super serious and don't want to commit, 4 to 6 hours to a raid,
That's me.
stuff like that is a lot more fun. So why not have all that stuff at that same difficulty level so players can experience that type of, feel in the game without having to make that investment? Because Graham enjoyed playing a lot of stuff with us, and then Graham, you played the raid, and my God, I think you were just miserable.
Yeah, I wasn't enjoying it,
Mm,
to be honest with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think for you, the strikes and the adventures are a much better,
Yes.
part of the game.
Yeah, make like a Nightfall adventure playlist where you just,
Yeah.
it's the difficulty of the Nightfall strike, but at the adventures.
Mhm.
And then you don't even have to go back and go to a different world. You just put you in a different adventure. Stuff like that would just make the game longer because you can do that when you're bored.
But they seem to really be all in on the public events and not so much on the adventures.
Yeah, and public
I
events
kinda
are
think-
fine,
Yeah,
but,
but I almost
they're
think it
not
should be
great.
the other way around.
Yes.
yeah, I
Or at
agree.
least the same. At least the same.
Yeah, because we
So-
did the one public event probably 10 times in a row or something like that. It was
Yeah.
nothing else. Like, wow, I'm so
Yep.
tired of doing this one.
the one on Titan.
Well,
Yeah,
when
that's
we had
what
to
I'm thinking
grind,
about.
when we were grinding on Titan, that's what we
Oh,
do. We
gosh.
go open chests until the public event hit again.
Hmm.
So yeah. I mean, that's the grindy part of it. That
Running
kinda
around in
stinks.
circles for an hour or 2
Yes.
hours.
Yep.
Oh, and try like 4
Mhm.
hours
So
to get from 200 to 270.
yeah, and I don't want to do that again, but
No.
not for a week, or whatever. But some of it's always involved in games like this. But I'd like to see them incorporate other things too. So, all right. Up next, and we're just going to hit on this because we've beaten the EA Battlefront 2 thing to death, and just like everyone else has. But EA stock value is taking a $3.1 billion hit after the Battlefront 2 controversy.
I'm just saying that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
No
It is
company
a lot
wants
of
to
money.
take a hit that big, but
No.
EA is a big enough company that
Yeah.
they can continue on. But that sucks for them.
What's the
I-
percentage if you have that? Do you know?
I don't. I just don't want to see all of this stuff because some of it's legit concerns and some of it's whining, to be honest. But I don't want to see it make EA hesitant or resistant to making Star Wars titles that they might,
Yeah.
other than Battlefront. Because the Battlefront 3 we're going to see when Episode 9 comes out. I don't want to see them hesitant to make other games. So,
Yeah.
because it's a big investment for them with the license and everything. So, anyway, not going to dig too deep into that. We've already done it. Eugene, you had a news item you wanted to touch on.
Yeah, so it's kind of a hot topic right now in games journalism right now. Epic Games has filed a lawsuit against 2 players on Fortnite. One specifically is a 14-year-old boy who was using an exploit, using an aimbot for Fortnite and was YouTubing it. So what do you guys think about Epic Games suing a 14-year-old?
Well, I don't think that's the whole story.
It
If
isn't
I
the
rem-
whole story.
If I remember reading it correctly, they asked him to take it down off YouTube, and he didn't. And his mother was defending him, and I think they're suing just to have him take it down, like a cease and desist. So I feel like this might be another case of, you take one fact from the whole story and run with it just because people like to complain about stuff.
Yeah. And not saying
So-
you're doing that, Eugene. It's just that's what some people are doing.
Oh yeah, that's
'Cause I've
why I
seen
kind of
that
that's why it's
happen.
leading towards.
I'm
Because
saying you're doing it.
So, real quick before you go, here's my take. So, okay, the term we love to use with YouTube and Twitch and all this stuff, and we stream too, but I will not call myself a content creator, even though that's what we're doing right now. because that's really pompous and douchey. I'm sorry. And we just get together, we talk about video games a week, and we're thankful that people like to listen to us and take part in it. That's awesome. I'm never going to put myself on a big enough pedestal to say I'm a content creator. And even if I did, I still know enough about licensing and all that stuff to know that just because I put my face or my voice or both alongside copyrighted content, it's not mine. That copyrighted content doesn't become mine. It belongs to Epic. So you're playing by their rules to an extent. And if they want you to not do this, then your best course of action is to say, okay.
Yeah, and you know those end user license agreements that you don't read and you just click
That's
I
what I was gonna
accept?
say. That would
I
Yep.
almost guarantee there's something about cheating in there
There
because
is.
those companies cover all their bases.
Mhm.
And honestly, I think the mother needs to be corrected here because I
Yeah,
feel like
so-
she
Yeah.
is creating the issue.
Yes.
Yeah, by
Yeah,
not explaining it to the kid. And I'm sorry, just real quick. And the fact that he's 14 in this case is irrelevant because 14-year-olds can have just as much sway and power on YouTube as 24-year-olds. And if you're showing somebody how to exploit a game and cheat a game, and Epic doesn't want that, obviously they're working against that. Because the more that stuff becomes rampant, the more their play base goes down and the more money they lose.
exactly.
So I think the age here is irrelevant, but I agree with you guys. It's on the parent here to step in and say, this is wrong and here's why. To the
Yeah,
kid.
so
Go ahead.
Fortnite is a mature rated game, and he did accept the end user license agreement with which Epic has defended themselves. Which let's talk about the letter first. The mom wrote a letter to the court, saying that Epic is using her son as a scapegoat. That they shouldn't be attacking her son. They should be attacking the people that made this aimbot is what it was, and that she did not give consent to her son to play the game, so that she doesn't agree with the end user license agreement that Steve was talking about. So but what it comes down to is Epic is saying, first off, we're not suing your son for using the aimbot. We're suing your son for putting up a YouTube video teaching people exactly where to go, that this is what you need to do to exploit the game. And they simply did send him a cease and desist saying, hey, we need this video taken down according to DMCA. Take it down. And he said, no, he responded, no, I'm not going to take it down. And that's when they have to. I don't think people understand that they have to sue in the situation that, a part of their agreement, with DMCA is that when somebody violates the agreement that they have to go pursue a lawsuit or they have to drop everything. So what happens if they drop everything? They're opening the door for anyone to exploit their copyright, to use their copyright as they see fit. So they have to pursue a lawsuit in this case. So I'm all about Epic Games in this. I don't think the child should be sued. I think the parents should be sued. It being a minor, that his parents are the ones responsible for this. They're responsible.
It's not even
for
about the
this
kid.
action.
Nobody's trying to throw the kid in jail.
Right.
Right? They just want the clip taken down. And
I think they're just suing to have the clip taken down, right? They're not suing for monetary.
I think they are now suing
Now,
for
yes.
monetary because what it turns into is that Fortnite has lost revenue. Epic Games has lost revenue due to their son making this video saying that this is how you cheat at the game. This is how you exploit the game. So that's what it's turned into.
And just last point for me, sadly, I think it's a commentary too on just kind of the social media aspect of society now. He's probably looking at it and is like, well, I have so many views on this. I'm not, there's no way I'm taking it down.
Yeah.
Because
And
views and likes and all that stuff are all that matters.
YouTube has to be good. I hope they're not allowing him to monetize on that video, because then there's a whole separate issue.
Yeah.
So I don't even have the full story, so I can't say for certain. like I know a lot of people on Facebook like to think they do.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's like 17 different sides to this story. So,
Well, I mean, if you want a really balanced perspective, go to Reddit.
oh yeah,
Oh, you Reddit is the,
bastion of balance.
Yeah.
they're the only not fake news site.
So
They'll tell you all the good deals.
because
Too.
nobody ever overreacts there. But
Ever.
all right, anything else, guys?
No.
No.
All right, that's going to do it for news. Graham, what can we get new in stores?
Let's see. This will be a very busy week for new releases for all consoles. So let's get started. We have 8 titles that will be released on both PS4 and Xbox One. Those titles are Space Hulk, Deathwing, Steep, Road to the Olympics, Steep, Winter Games Edition. I'm not sure why they combined them, but oh well. The Surge, A Walk in the Park, The Walking Dead, the Telltale Series Collection, and Oh My Godheads. Now, these 6 titles will be released on the 5th. Next, we have A Hat in Time, releasing on the 6th, and Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, which releases on the 8th. Now, all these titles will share their respective release dates on both consoles, with the exception of A Hat in Time, which will release a day earlier on the PS4 and on the 5th on Xbox One. Oh, sorry. The 5th on PS4 and the 6th for Xbox One. Now, for PS4 exclusives, we have Bravo Team, Dead Rising 4, Frank's Big Package, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, Destiny 2, Curse of Osiris, Justice League Virtual Reality, The Complete Experience, and Snow Fortress. Now, all these titles will be releasing on the 5th. On the 6th, we have Chaos on Deponia, Invector releasing on the 7th. On the 8th, we have Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus, which releases on the 8th. Hey, I'm close. And then we have Loco Roco 2 Remastered. Now that releases on the 9th. So that's it for PS4. On the Xbox One side of things, we have Boiling Bolt, which will release on the 5th, and Rememoroid releasing on the 6th. And then releasing on the 8th, we have Hello Neighbor, Paladin, and Demon's Age. So like I said, a lot for those consoles. Now for the Nintendo Switch, we also have a slew of new releases coming at us next week. On the 5th, you could get 9 Parchments, Caveman Warriors. So that's it for the 5th. Now the rest titles will be released on the 7th, and those titles are Dimension Drive, Tesla Grad, Vostok Incorporated, Human Fall Flat, Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Overdrive, Embers of Miram, Slain, Back from Hell, a Neo Geo title titled Top Hunter, Acorn Tactics. Now that's not an actual acorn, it's an acronym. Not sure what it means. Then we have Plantera Deluxe, Riptide GP Renegade, and then finishing it off, we have Yodanji. Now, as you can see, there's lots of new releases coming out for you that have purchased those new consoles on either Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So, good luck with choosing which title to buy. Now, let's move it on to Eugene and see what deals are still out there to be had now that Black Friday and Cyber Monday are done.
A lot of indie titles releasing in this week, huh?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, a lot of indie. I heard about A Hat in Time. I heard it's pretty good. Good platformer. Has a 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Just clarifying, Curse of Osiris for Destiny 2 is not a PS4 exclusive. It's just either a week or two early on the PlayStation.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I
Early
kind
access.
of worded that incorrect.
Cool. So let's talk about a few deals. There's not too many, like Graham said. Cyber Monday's over, and Black Friday's over, so everyone's broke anyway. But let's talk about Games with Gold, which is free. You can still get Tales from the Borderlands, Warhammer: The End of Time, The End Times, Vermintide, and then Child of Eden. But PS Plus has announced their free games for the month. So for PS4, you can get Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. You can get Kung Fu Panda Showdown of Legendary Legends, which before you guys knocked that game, I actually watched gameplay of that, and it's kind of like Smash Brothers, except with Kung Fu Panda characters. So it actually looks pretty neat. And then Forma 8 is also free on the PS4. For the PS3, you can get the Siberia Collection, which is also a THQ Nordic game, just like Darksiders. X-Blaze Lost Memories, and for the PS Vita, you can get Forma 8 and Wanted Core. So those are your free games for games with gold and also PS Plus. Not a whole lot of deals on the storefront, just standard indie titles being a certain percent off, but not too much on the Xbox store or the PSN store or the Nintendo store. Best Buy though, Best Buy this week, I think it's running this month actually. You can buy one get one 50% off select video games. So those video games include Middle Earth: Shadow of War, Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Star Wars Battlefront 2, as well as other games. But buy one 50% off, and your Gamers Club will also stack onto that. So that's an additional 20% off games. Amazon has a few good deals, and the first one we're going to talk about is the one we were talking about actually last night when we were playing video games, was Death Stranding. You can go ahead and pre-order Death Stranding for the PS4. Don't know when it's going to release. It might be 2 years from now, or 3, or maybe 4. But it is $51 on Amazon. But with Amazon Prime, you can get it for $47.99. So that's about $13 less than retail, full retail price. So if you know you're going to get that game, go ahead and pre-order it now and save a few bucks. Wolfenstein is $39. Wolfenstein 2 is $39.82. Assassin's Creed Origins is $49.99 on Amazon. And then you can get Yakuza, the Kurami Steelbook Edition, for $19.99 on Amazon. Hey Pikmin for the Nintendo 3DS is $25. Forza Motorsport 7, if you're looking for a good sim racer that has the 4K updates, it is $39.82 on Amazon. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands is only $19.99. Evil Within 2 is only $39.99. Prey, if you're still thinking about buying it at Graham, it is $24.99 on Amazon. South Park Fractured But Whole is $44.75. Moving on to a CD Keys deal. If you're needing a 12-month Xbox Live Gold membership, you can get one for $47.99 on CD Keys. Plus, if you like their page on Facebook, you get an additional 5% off coupon for totaling $45.59. So that's $15 off a 12-month Xbox Live subscription. Walmart also has a few good deals online if you go to their website. First big deal is Call of Duty World War II, which didn't see a lot of sales on Black Friday, but right now it is $49.94, so that's $10 off the standard retail price. You can get Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy, for only $29.88. You can get Grand Theft Auto for the Xbox 360. If you still haven't played it, Grand Theft Auto 5, I think the online community is still going strong, even on the 360. You can get that for only $15. NHL 18 is only $39.99. Gears of War 4 is only $29.83. The big one, though, I didn't even know this was already out, but there is the Battlefield 1. The Battlefield 1, it is basically the complete edition. It's the complete edition. It's called the Revolution Edition. It includes all of the DLC and also all the expansions as well. $29.99 on Walmart. Wow. So that's 50% off. So if you don't have Battlefield 1 and you don't want to buy the season pass, or anything, you can get the whole complete set for only $29.99 right now. It
just for the season pass.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't even know how much it is now, the season pass, but I want to say it's probably 30 or 40 still.
Season pass. Well, when it all comes out, yeah. Originally the game was 60 and the season pass was 50, so that's $110 worth for what, 30? So
yeah, $29.99. I think that was the biggest deal that I saw. So
that was Walmart, that deal.
Yep. Walmart online, and you can get it for the Xbox One or the PS4. Both editions are available at that price, and I believe that is it for gaming deals this week. Moving on to fan mail, Steve.
Yeah. So, before we go into fan mail, we're going to go through our Game Awards predictions.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're going to run through that. We picked some categories. We're not going to go through every single category. So, sorry, everybody was looking forward to, Trending Gamer.
four hours of going over the Game Awards.
Well, the show will be 4 hours.
That's
not
what
ours, but that one will be.
Oh.
But yeah, we won't be doing Trending Gamer or some of the other lesser categories, but we'll hit the big ones here. So what we're going to do is run through the categories. We'll name the nominees, and then we'll say who we think is going to win, and if it's different than who we want, who we would individually pick, then we'll say who we would individually pick as our personal winner. So we're going to start with Best Independent Game. And the nominees are Cuphead, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, Night in the Woods, Pyre, and What Remains of Edith Finch. So let's go to Graham first. What do you think?
Well, I must have missed that one because I don't have that one. Which one was that? Sorry.
So Best Independent Game.
Oh no, sorry. Yeah, I have that one. Yes, Cuphead. This is a game I haven't played, but from reading on it and hearing the hype and getting people's opinions on it, I think that game is going to win, and I would pick that one as well.
Mm-hmm. Steve, what about you?
I would pick Cuphead based on playing it, but I think Hellblade is going to win because I know they've done a lot of great stuff with that game. Pyre is a good game. Gameplay gets a little boring. The storyline is very good though, so if you haven't heard of it and you have a PC, I would check that out. And What Remains of Edith Finch has a good story, but I think Hellblade or Cuphead are going to win this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hellblade's going to win though.
Okay, Eugene.
I kind of agree with you, Steve. Me personally, it's Cuphead. I had a great time with it and was addicted for it for a little bit. Plus, it had a huge following, and I think it. I was really worried about that game not meeting the hype.
Yes.
But it absolutely did, and it's totally worth it. And I think that personally, I think it should win the title. But Hellblade, a lot of people supported that game whenever it came out. It's kind of a surprise hit whenever it released. People weren't expecting that kind of immersive storyline. The graphics are beautiful. So it has a good possibility that'll win. But I think Cuphead will pull through, and I think it'll actually win.
Yeah, I'm with Eugene here. I've said a lot of good things about Cuphead, and I'll do it again here. Not only is it a great game, but just the originality of it, the difficulty of it. It's a different take on a game like Ori and the Blind Forest. It's where Ori was really difficult and it's really beautiful. Cuphead is super difficult, but every single frame in this game is hand drawn. You don't see stuff like that in games now. And it's a throwback to like 1930s cartoons. So I think it's a really cool idea. It's original concept. And like Eugene said, the fear here was that this game that had been talked about for years wouldn't live up to the hype, but it did. And I think it should win. I think it will win. And there's a lot of other good games. You guys talked about Hellblade. I think What Remains of Edith Finch is a very solid game too. But Cuphead, I think, is my pick, and I think it will win. So, all right. Action game. Best action game. Nominees: Cuphead, Destiny 2, Neo, Prey, and Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. So let's go back to Graham.
Okay. Now, personally, I haven't played Cuphead, but I don't think this as like an action game. I know it's like chaotic and stuff going on that, but I think more of like a story-driven, like kind of action game. So I picked Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. Now, Eugene was saying that it hasn't been doing that well, but that's my pick. Sometimes you get surprised with these awards. You think you know who the winner is.
I said it was doing well. I thought it was doing well.
Oh, okay.
I
thought that's why you said it was on deals.
No, that was me. That was me.
Oh, okay. Sorry, wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler said it wasn't doing too well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one I chose. I went through the list, and that's my pick.
Okay. Steve.
I think Wolfenstein or Destiny will win this one, but my personal pick is Neo. If you haven't played it and you like the Dark Souls games or Bloodborne, this is a game you should check out if you own PlayStation 4. Mm-hmm. It's medieval Japan, or I guess I want to call it medieval. It's ninjas in Japan. That's all you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
With Dark Souls level difficulty and demons and stuff. It's awesome.
Yeah. Eugene?
I'm going to agree. Neo, Team Ninja, they've always made a great game. They did Ninja Gaiden as well, right? That was all them.
Yeah,
but
Tenchu, right?
Yeah, they did Tenchu as well. So yeah, Team Ninja's awesome development team. It was kind of a sleeper hit. Not a lot of people were expecting it to be so great, and I actually think it's kind of a hard to find title right now. I know it was on sale for Black Friday, but like Steve said, it's a great game if you're into the Soulsy type games where it's extremely challenging. The bosses are extremely difficult. That it requires a lot of skill and it requires you to kind of master the mechanics of the game. So I'm going to agree with Neo. I like Wolfenstein. I think Wolfenstein's a great franchise and a great action game, but I want to see Neo get this one.
Yeah. I think the popular pick here is going to be Destiny 2. That's what I think most fans are going to want and think will win. Part of me says Cuphead. Wolfenstein 2 is a fantastic game, fantastic series with arguably the best developer in the game in Bethesda. I agree with you guys. I think Neo's going to win. I think they should. I think it's a very good game.
Don't agree with me.
Sorry, Graham.
No, that's fine. I don't know Neo, so.
I guess my only question, like, to me, it's like one of these things is not like the other, or like the others. Like Prey, I was just a little disappointed in. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if any of you played it at all, but I was a little disappointed in the game.
I played the demo, which based off the demo, I decided not to buy the game. So
yeah, same here. That's one that I'm pretty certain. I bet money that one will not win.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If a Bethesda title wins, it's going to be Wolfenstein 2.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
All right. Best action adventure, and this is the first of like the super loaded categories.
Yeah.
So the nominees: Assassin's Creed Origins, Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, and Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. There are 3 legitimate Game of the Year arguments in here.
There's 4.
And maybe 4.
I think it's all 5.
For sure,
but...
maybe. So let's go back to Graham.
Well,
we don't really need to, but go ahead. Say Zelda.
So I was gonna say these are 5 incredible games, like everyone's just said before we got a chance. But obviously, there's one that stands out to me here, and that's Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. How they designed this game from the ground up was just genius. Like this game, I thoroughly enjoyed playing this game. I really did. I was excited to play it. I couldn't wait to get home from work and just waste time just playing this game. And I own Super Mario Odyssey, and I played the game, and I really enjoyed it. But then it went away. Like there was no desire. Like, oh, I got to go back. I want to do this. Like other games came along, stuff like that. And I know Assassin's Creed Origins is an amazing game. I've heard great things. It looks visually amazing. And Horizon Zero Dawn was probably the best game until Zelda came out, and then Mario Odyssey. So I'm guessing that's probably going to be third, maybe fighting second with Super Mario Odyssey, but Breath of the Wild all the way. I'd be really surprised if it don't win, but surprises happen. That's my choice. What's your guys?
Steve?
Well, I don't like this action adventure category because I don't know how much action matters for this, because there's not a lot of action in Super Mario Odyssey. It's more of an adventure game.
Platformer. Yeah.
And it's platformer.
Same with Breath of the Wild too.
Breath of the Wild is the winner, hands down, in that category. I loved Horizon, and I loved Mario. I haven't had a chance to play Origins, and I'm not an Uncharted fan, so I'm biased there. But Breath of the Wild, like I couldn't wait to come home and play it every night, and I loved doing the shrine puzzles. They were by far one of the best moments I had in gaming this year. So, but of the scope of adventure and action, that's the game I would choose. Though the only thing is, Horizon had better combat than Breath of the Wild by a lot. Mm-hmm. But everything else, like movement-wise, was not. But I think Breath of the Wild will win, and I think Horizon should be second.
All right, Eugene.
I think this is a controversial category, like you said, Steve. I don't think Super Mario Odyssey belongs here. I think it should be in its own category with either adventure or platformer. My vote goes to Breath of the Wild. Horizon, I loved Horizon. It is actually, it came out within a week of Breath of the Wild. I don't know if you guys remember that. And I bought it. I started playing it, but I stopped playing it, and I didn't play it for 6 months because of Breath of the Wild. So that's why it takes my pick. Shout out to Horizon for sure. Assassin's Creed, definitely. It's one of the best Assassin's Creed that's ever come out, more than likely. And then Uncharted, uh, it's great for a standalone expansion. I don't think it's great to call it its own game. It's Uncharted 4, the Lost Legacy. So I'm gonna go with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, and for me, pretty much agree with you guys. Like, I feel bad for Horizon Zero Dawn here because that's a legitimately great video game, like really good. But there should be no way that Zelda doesn't win this category.
And there should be no reason why Tyler hasn't played this game enough.
Yeah, no joke.
Just calling you out on it, Tyler.
I know I haven't finished it. I like it. I haven't said I don't like it. It's just I've always been much more of a Mario guy than a Zelda guy. And I know they're not mutually exclusive. It's just the Mario games have always been more appealing to me than the Zelda games. I've never gotten caught up in like the lore of it and all that stuff. But it's a fantastic game. Like I said, you can play games and know that, you know, this is something that might not be 100% my type of thing, but you still know you're playing something really special when you're playing it. You know, you know it's great. It just might not be your type of thing. So I do have hopes of finishing it at some point, though.
I hope you do too.
I know. All right, best role-playing game. Divinity Original Sin 2. And Steve, I included this category mostly for you. But,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Final Fantasy 15. Is it Nier Automata?
Nier.
Okay. Persona 5. Some game, I don't know, a couple of people have played. And South Park, The Fractured Butthole. So, Graham, let's go to you.
Okay, so out of all these titles, I've played none of them. But I do have an opinion.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about each game and stuff like that, and I don't know what type all these games are. Me personally, I would choose South Park, The Fractured Butthole, because I played Stick of Truth and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great game, and I've heard nothing but good about Fractured Butthole, and it just seems like a step up from Stick of Truth and a lot more content. So that would be my pick, but I think Final Fantasy 15 is going to win just because there's a lot of diehards and it was really highly anticipated. And I don't know, like Eugene finished the game, but some people weren't happy with it. But I think overall, I think it's going to win.
What was your pick again?
South Park.
South Park.
Yep. Steve.
But I don't know the other ones, so I'm kind of biased.
Okay. Steve.
Oh, this is very tough for me. I played 100 hours of Persona 5, and I really want to play another 100 hours of it. I plan on going back. But Divinity Original Sin 2 was hands down the best RPG I've ever played in my entire life. It is like playing Dungeons and Dragons on the computer, and it's the closest thing any game's ever come to that. And it's definitely more in depth than Persona 5. Persona 5 is not a super difficult game. I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I love it to death. But Divinity Original Sin 2 is my personal pick for best role-playing game. In fact, never mind, I'll get to that later. But it is a fantastic game. If you have a PC and you like computer RPGs like Baldur's Gate, but you want them in the updated, like, 2017 graphics, you need to play this game. It probably will go on sale during the holiday sales on Steam. I don't know if it's going to win, though. I don't know how the Game Awards are when it comes to PC games over other games. So my pick is Persona 5 to win, which is fine. They both deserve to get recognized. They're both amazing games. But now, Divinity Original Sin 2 was the best.
I'm just going to tell you this. I was reading that where the awards is going on for this, I don't know about all these games, but most of these games or some of these games, there will be sales on them. So if any of these games we're talking about is like striking your fancy and you're considering getting it,
striking your fancy.
Yeah, they actually started that last year, and kudos to Jeff Keighley for kind of putting it all together and striking these deals with like Sony and Microsoft, etc., and Steam. Because they work out a thing where when the show's on, which I think is Thursday night, they'll have sales going on all the major platforms for the games that are nominated in the winners. So as you're watching, you'll see the sales kind of pop up, and emerge throughout the night. So that's really cool too.
Yeah.
One last thing is, in regards to Divinity Original Sin 2, the first one did make its way to consoles.
Hmm.
So if you don't have a good PC, I've heard talks that they're trying to bring it to consoles for Original Sin 2, and I'm absolutely going to buy the game again, even if it's $60, because it is just that good of a game, and Larian Studios deserves my business, because they're a great company. Great company. The first one was good. This one is phenomenal.
All
I
right.
can't say anything bad about it. It was perfect.
Cool. Eugene.
So my personal pick out of these, first off, I want to get something off the table. This is the Game Awards 2017, and Final Fantasy 15 came out last year.
But,
so
the
November.
cutoff is like December something.
Right. I
So-
understand.
But
It was also on other websites for Game of the Year for 2016. So,
I know. Well, we're going to talk about that when we get to Mario Kart 8
yeah.
Deluxe.
But I think it shouldn't even be on the table, even though it was one of my favorite games from last year. I loved it.
Mm,
And then also Near definitely deserves a nod because it was kind of a sleeper hit as well. A lot of people loved it when it came out. It's kind of like Neo came out around the same time. Persona 5, if there was a personal one that I would pick out of this list, that would be my pick. Even though I love South Park, the gameplay and the battle system was a little bit different to me. I kind of like the battle system from the first go around. They kind of changed it up. But I'm going to say that if there's somebody that deserves to win it, I'm going to agree with Steve with Divinity Original Sin 2, which I played the first one on the PlayStation 3. The sequel, I can't wait until they port it because I really want to play it too. And I've heard nothing but great things about the game. That it's been rated 10 out of 10. I want to say too that if you look at Metacritic, it's one of the highest rated games of the year, beating out a lot of other games. So my personal pick would be Persona, even though I haven't beaten it yet. That's one of the next games I want to jump back into. But Divinity, I think, should win just because of the everything I've heard about it from PC players.
Okay. So my personal pick, if I'm giving the award, would be South Park, just because as a huge South Park fan, like I had a really good time playing the game. But Graham, I will say to you, I actually enjoyed the story better in the first one.
Really?
It's not to say this one's bad. It's not.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed the story better in the first one. But they had 16, 17 seasons of the show to work with for story stuff. For that first one, and in the second one, they've incorporated mostly stuff since the first game.
See, that's
So
what I was
less
wondering. If
fun.
it's like more like the nostalgia, like the first one was amazing and the story,
yeah.
and this one it's like they,
Yeah, 'cause they were
not
really
And a
really
lot of
back.
Easter eggs that you could find. And
Yes.
Yeah.
And there still are in the second one too. There definitely are. But like the part in the first one where
The treehouse.
no, where you have to
go on
navigate...
an adventure with Lemmywinks.
Yes, you're doing the Lemmywinks adventure. I was trying to figure out how to say that on a family-friendly podcast. But yes, the Lemmywinks adventure was. My God, I was laughing so hard the whole time I was playing it.
Yeah, that's that soft
It's-
one. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I remember
It's-
now.
it's
My
just
favorite part. I
it's
still,
Stuck.
I played it again. I played it again last week. I actually beat it again because I wanted, before I jumped
Mhm.
fully to Fractured But Whole, I wanted to beat it again. And Canada is still
oh
my favorite
yes, and it
part.
was so disappointing. I hope, and I don't want to spoil for anybody.
There's no
Well,
kid.
yeah, I'm
that-
still playing through it. Please don't
Yeah.
spoil.
The Canada part was just disappointing. Just put it that way. Okay. Anyway, that would be like if I'm giving the award, it's what I would give. But who's gonna win? It's gonna be Divinity. I agree with you guys. So, all right, best family game, and I'm gonna read the nominees, and then I'm just gonna soapbox for a second. Best family game nominees: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Sonic Mania, Splatoon 2, and Super Mario Odyssey. All right, mini soapbox. Why is Mario Kart 8 a nominee for the Game Awards 2017?
Because it's deluxe.
No, that is just that means you just.
I'm just telling
repackaged
you
it for
why.
Switch. I get
Yeah.
it, but that's a cop out, and I think they should be ashamed for giving it, a spot amongst these other games because, okay, even if you put another game on the list that's not going to win, it's an honor to be nominated and it means a lot to those teams. Not to mention marketing for their game to say, hey, we're a Game Awards nominee. And I think to give it to a game that came out, what, 2 years ago? Year and a half ago? Originally?
Oh, no, it's 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
3, maybe 3.
Maybe even 3.
Sure.
So to put a game on there that's been out for that long, I just think it's wrong. But that's just me.
So let me
anyway.
defend it a little bit.
Okay.
Let me defend it a little bit because, first off, I don't agree that it should be on the list as well because that's like saying that. What are some of the games that the Xbox One X released some texture packs for
Halo
that
5.
came out? Halo.
Halo
Okay,
5.
so that means Halo
Skyrim.
5 should be considered.
Yeah,
that means
say
Skyrim should
Skyrim,
be
yeah.
considered.
Yeah.
You know, Skyrim even received texture packs for the PS4 Pro, so
Mhm.
it should be on the list. So I don't believe that it should be on the list. I agree with you, but they did. It was able to run at 60 frames on the Switch, even in multiplayer mode. In the old version, it dropped down to 30 frames. And then also they fixed the multiplayer. The multiplayer works so much better on the Nintendo Switch, which it's still not great compared to other games, but it's actually worth playing online now. Before online was kind of just a mess. Joining lobbies was very difficult to join lobbies with your friends and everything. So now it's a lot simpler, but
Yeah.
no, it shouldn't be on the list. I agree.
Okay, so let's go through Graham.
Okay, first question is Sonic Mania. What system was that for?
All systems.
Oh, it's on the Switch as well?
Yes.
So we're looking at 5 titles, all that can be played on the Switch. Like
Mhm.
that's, well, it kind of makes sense because the Switch is more of a family console.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
the
Nintendo
family
is more
game
synonymous
category.
with family. Yeah.
But like, personally, one I would choose is Super Mario Odyssey, just because it's got the old school nostalgia and like it's like new school style too. So I think that's a great game for family.
Mhm.
I think that's going to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Splatoon 2 wins, because that's still another game that you can play with family and stuff like that. But I'm going to choose Super Mario Odyssey. I know Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I don't know if I would call that a family game.
I don't
per
think it's
se.
family friendly. I've
Yeah.
played that game and it's not family friendly. I don't think it is personally.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's no need for that to be on there. So I don't even think that's got a chance to win. I'd be super shocked if it didn't place anything besides 5th, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, my vote and one I think is going to win would be Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay, Steve.
Well, when I think family game, I think either games you play local multiplayer with your family or games that you can watch. So I don't know if Splatoon 2 has local multiplayer, but I actually think Mario Kart 8 is the best family game on that list because you can play 4-player, like split screen, and it's really fun. But I think Super Mario is going to win because it's Super Mario.
Eugene.
I'm gonna say that I think Super Mario Odyssey should win, and I think it will win. Splatoon 2, I don't think that. I think it actually does have local multiplayer, but you can't play online together, as far as I know. So if you have 2 players, you can't play online together. Sonic Mania was a good game. I reviewed that game and gave it a pretty decent review, but when it comes to platformers, Mario just beats it tenfold. And then Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I don't think it's definitely a it's a Mario game, but I don't think it's 100% family friendly. There's a lot of jokes in there and different things that I wouldn't want a 4-year-old play or 5-year-old play.
Right.
Yeah, it's a Rabbids
yeah.
game.
Super Mario Odyssey for sure.
Okay. For me, it's Super Mario Odyssey. I don't even think it's that close. I give a small outside chance to Splatoon just because of what we saw in the multiplayer category a couple years ago. But I see where Splatoon won best multiplayer. But I think it's Mario, hands down. So, all right. Best sports / racing. So we have to throw those two together. Nominees: FIFA 18, Forza Motorsport 7, Gran Turismo Sport, NBA 2K18, Pro Evolution Soccer 2018, and Project Cars 2. Graham, let's go to you.
Okay, like not the last category, but the one before, I've not played any of these games.
Mhm.
But from what usually wins and what people are excited for, and the one I'm talking about is Forza Motorsport 7. And the fact that it comes with 4K HDR and the game looks stunningly beautiful, and they put a lot of time and energy and effort to make this game flawless and a beautiful game. So personally, I think that's gonna win. I know there's a big market of people who really like the racers and they get the steering wheel and they just go for the full immersive, whatever.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my choice. Like there's what 2 soccer games on here.
Yep.
So NBA. I've never really gotten the NBA, so I'm kind of biased that I don't choose that one.
Mhm.
But personally, I think Forza Motorsport will win, and that's the one I would choose.
All right, Steve.
Frankly, I think it's travesty MLB The Show is not on here.
Agreed.
That
Yes.
is true too. Yes.
But I don't. 3 racers? Are you kidding me? And Forza is the best game on the list.
Mhm.
NBA 2K has gone downhill for me, at least over the past couple of years. FIFA is just FIFA. I think PES is a better soccer game, but FIFA has better polish. So I think Forza is the best of those games, and I think it'll win. But I think if MLB was on this list, I mean, MLB deserves to be on this list.
Yeah,
Yes.
Eugene.
So I don't like this list at all. I don't like what
Me
they
neither.
compiled from both categories. I think there's so many other games, including MLB The Show. I think Madden should be on here. I think it should be at least given a nod.
Mhm.
FIFA. I would have said FIFA any other year, but this year because it rated horribly this year.
It did.
I actually think so. Out of all these, I would like to pick Forza, but I think Pro Evolution Soccer
Mhm.
has a good chance because it was rated so highly this year. In contrast with FIFA, plus, being in the U.S. and we're all from the U.S. or we're from North America. Soccer, football is not real popular here, but when you look at around the world, PES and FIFA is everything to gamers
Oh
worldwide.
yeah.
So I'm going to give the vote to PES just because it rated so highly, but my personal is Forza.
Yeah.
Well, I take offense. I get up at 4:00 to watch soccer. Hashtag West Coast.
Okay,
So-
I'm sorry, Steve, for doubting your
Yeah.
soccer.
Must be
soccer
fun to
fan.
watch.
Yeah.
Spend all that time to
Out of
see
that.
no goals.
All that exciting gameplay
Oh.
must wake you right
Oh.
up. So
Uh-huh.
anyway, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna agree with Steve. I think MLB is the best sports game I played all year again, and it's just so well done every year. And to not even be on this list is ridiculous, honestly. So, but it's gonna be between. I agree with Eugene. Forza Motorsport 7 and Pro Evo. And I think Forza should win. I have a funny feeling Pro Evo is going to win. So we'll see.
I think it might too.
Yeah,
I agree. I agree.
it's the only thing Konami does well anymore. So their game has gotten consistently better the last 3 years, and FIFA's has arguably stayed the same or maybe declined a little. So
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the only reason Pro Evo is not like the better soccer game or the higher selling one is because they don't have the kits. I don't think that FIFA has.
correct. Yep. No, you're right.
So, Steve, what were your picks again for sports racing?
Well, I did say Forza for both, but I actually think you're right. I think PES will win.
Okay.
All right, best multiplayer: Call of Duty World War II, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, and Splatoon 2. Graham.
Okay. Personally, I would choose PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds
Mhm.
because this game has shattered so many records of concurrent players and I think overall sales or something like that. And this game was just an add-on that some guy came up with, and it's done amazing.
Mhm.
I really enjoy watching this on Twitch. It's got a big Twitch following. A lot of people will just watch this game. It's a great game to just watch other people play, like not necessarily just play. And when you do die, like you can like toggle between other people you're playing with, and that's quite enjoyable. I've experienced it on the PC, and I know when this comes to the Xbox One, it's just going to get an even bigger boost in sales and make lots more money. and I'm definitely looking forward to this. And I think we should stream this game. I think this will be a fun
agree.
game to stream. People can watch me die repeatedly and be like, why didn't he look behind him? Wow, that guy can't shoot. But anyways, no, that's a great game. That's who I would pick. But I really think that Call of Duty is probably going to win just because it's Call of Duty. It's got a huge fan base and it's got like a cult following. And Tyler had played it and he's really enjoyed the campaign. I don't know if he's played much of the multiplayer online.
A little bit.
But I think that one's going to win. Destiny 2, it's a great multiplayer experience, but you see some people are kind of upset with it and stuff like that. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, again, don't think this should be on the list. There's other better ones out there. Splatoon 2, that one's probably going to be up there as well, but my pick is going to be Call of Duty to win, but I would like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
Okay. Eugene. Or I mean, sorry, Steve.
Yeah,
sorry.
Steve first.
Steve's turn.
I think Destiny 2 is the best on this list if we're not counting multiplayer as just like 8-on-8 or whatever you want to, 4-on-4. Because the shooting in Destiny 2 is some of the smoothest shooting out of any multiplayer shooter I've played in a long time.
Yep.
Bungie's just good at it ever since Halo. So there's a lot to do. I put more hours in Destiny 2, and I'd rather play Destiny 2 than any of the other games on this list. But I think PUBG, or PUBG, as I like to call it, could win. Could very well take this.
Mm-hmm. All right, Eugene.
So I might have an unpopular opinion, but there's two games that I don't believe should be on this list, and the first one's, of course, Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
The second is PlayerUnknown Battleground because it's not finished yet. And I've heard a lot of people, bring up that, because it is still in its, early stage, that it's not even, it doesn't even have a full retail release yet. Even the one that is coming out on console next month is not an official full release. It's a game preview
program, right? Yep.
Yeah, it's still in preview program, so it's not an actual full game yet.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So it's still in game preview right now. So I don't think it should be on this list, but it will probably win because it has such a following online. It's the #1 Steam game right now. I think whenever it hits Xbox One next month, it's next week. That I'm gonna play it for sure. Personally, though, I think Destiny 2. Destiny 2, it kind of revamped the series. It fixed a lot of the things from the first one. Still a few complaints about it, right? And even some people have, the people have dipped down on it, but I think the expansions are going to revive the gameplay again. Mm-hmm. So my personal Destiny 2, I want to give a big nod towards Fortnite, though, because it had a kind of unsuccessful launch. But the things I've been hearing, I was watching on Mixer last night, some gameplay of it. It actually looks very fun. I wouldn't be surprised that it might actually have a chance in the running, but it's PUBG. It's going to be PUBG.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be PlayerUnknown's. And the reason I say it is because this game has been a phenomenon this year, and they're going to give it something at this show, and it's not going to win Game of the Year. So it's either that or this. They're going to win this category. And you can definitely make an argument that they should. But if I'm giving the award to somebody, just me, I'm going to give it to Destiny. But PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds will win. All right, 2 more to get through. Most anticipated game. So we have God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2, and The Last of Us Part 2. Graham, let's start with you.
Well, I'm going to say which one I think is going to win. The one I think is going to win is Last of Us Part 2, just because this game, the first game was arguably the best game of last-gen console, and I don't argue that point. It was on the PS3 shortly before the PS4 came out, and they've since remastered it, and people have played it, and it's a great story. So people have been wanting this game for a long time, and people were upset that when they expected to see some video on it and they didn't see it. It's been kind of quiet, but people are really highly anticipated. Red Dead Redemption 2, That's a really big game too that everyone's all excited for. Me personally, I didn't finish the first one. I didn't really get into it. So there's really nothing pushing me to get this one. I might get it eventually, but it's not going to be a day one just because there's
You're
so much
gonna
other
get
stuff
it.
out there. I'll get it, but it probably
We're gonna
won't
all
day
be
one.
playing it online, so
Yes.
if you
You're
wanna
going to
join
get it
us-
day one because it's going to come out in like April, Graham. There's nothing else to play then.
Okay, well, we'll see. That's
Online, I won't play that
I,
single
I
player.
can't predict what's going on.
All right.
Monster Hunter World, so many times I've wanted to try to jump into the Monster Hunter world, not the game, but play like Monster Hunter Generations, and I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's got highly rated and stuff like that. Marvel Spider-Man, that game looked amazing. Again, I'll probably get it eventually, but it's not gonna be a day one. God of War, this is the game that got me to buy my first PlayStation 3. It's the whole reason I jumped on the PlayStation bandwagon because I've watched a friend play it and it was awesome. It was like bloody and gory and like slaughtering death and the whole Greek mythology, very cool too. So I'm definitely excited to see where they're gonna go with it, and it's gonna be a great game. Visually, it's gonna be stunning, and the gameplay. So that's my most anticipated one. But Last of Us, I think, is gonna win.
Okay. Steve.
My most anticipated game's not on this list, and that'd be Kingdom Hearts 3 if
Oh
it
my
comes
God.
out next year. But on the list, my personal is Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm just so excited. But I am excited for Spider-Man, God of War, and Monster Hunter Worlds. With The Last of Us, it's going to win. That's not a question. I tried getting into this game twice. I bought it on the PS3, and then I bought it again on the PS4, and I can't get into it. I understand the story is good, but the gameplay, and that's key when I'm playing a game, it's not that great. I just don't understand the love. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I did not love the first one like everyone else did.
It's
but I
not.
think
It's not a game changer. For it kind of follows what Uncharted does, but I mean it's
yeah, and I'm not a fan of that.
it's
shooting
a
either. That was
story.
terrible.
It's a story. Yeah, it's a story.
Story and visually, the game looked
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, I think I wonder how well this game would have done if it had come out in the middle of the PS3 with those appropriate graphics and that type of thing. I think the fact that this was kind of the culmination of the generation
Hmm.
very much
Mhm.
helped this game. You got the farthest advances in graphics and storytelling and everything that existed in that generation, and just they had the full arsenal of what that console could do at their disposal. And I think that just influenced a lot of the feelings about the game. I played it. I could tell it was a good game. Just wasn't my thing. So, I don't know. I'm kind of with Steve on it. Like, I understand
mean,
why people love it. But anyway.
I'm not saying it's not a good game. I just
Mhm.
I fail to see how it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like Breath of the Wild was a masterpiece. That was a typical Naughty Dog game with a better story. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, Eugene.
Surprisingly enough, I don't agree with The Last of Us Part 2 because every other game on this list we know for a fact that it is coming in 2018.
That's true.
And then also the last time The Last of Us 2 was talked about was last PSX, which we might hear about it, in the next week. We might see a trailer, we might see a release date. I would really hope that is coming out maybe September 2018. But I'm kind of doubtful. I think it'll be a 2019 game personally, maybe even early like March 2019. But for the vote plus for my personal pick would be Red Dead Redemption. After they showed, that trailer and that teaser is what everyone was talking about. God of War and Spider-Man deserves a nod, but is it the most anticipated? I don't think so. Monster Hunter World was a huge surprise. I'm glad that they're branching out to other consoles other than Nintendo. That's a little bit different, especially in the past few years. But Red Dead Redemption 2, my pick, and plus, I hope it wins.
Now, you said The Last of Us Part 2. We have no release date for that, right?
Nope.
So why is Metroid on this list?
Oh, that's why isn't Metroid on this list?
Yeah.
I think because we don't know anything about it. We haven't seen
no
any
trailer, no
screenshots.
anything.
We haven't seen a trailer.
Yeah, that's
it
what
was
I
just
think.
it was just said that this is coming out. I think
KH3 has tentative 2018 release date, and they have actual gameplay.
Yeah, and I
So-
agree with you, Steve, on that one. I think it should be on this list, but I think why they didn't include it is because every year it's the most anticipated game because every year we think it's going to come out. So that would be like saying last year,
Or Death
Last Guardian was the most
They
anticipated.
they haven't given any sort of announcement or indication that it's going to be. Just like you could easily make an argument that Halo 6 should be on this list because Halo's been a 3-year development cycle, which means 2018 we're getting Halo 6.
But we have no mention whatsoever
yet,
about this
so-
game. Not even a logo.
So nothing to go with.
Yeah,
So
that's
anyway,
true.
yeah.
All right.
So Eugene, you good?
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
So for me, if I'm personally giving the award, it's to Spider-Man. Really psyched about that game. But my prediction, and I originally thought Last of Us, but this is a fan vote category. I'm going to go with Red Dead 2 because it's going to bring in people from both consoles. Votes from both. Whereas Last of Us Part 2 is only going to get votes from the
Oh,
Sony players.
And God
this
of
is a
War
fan vote. This
Yep.
is a
and
fan vote.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. you can
this
go
is a
online
fan
and vote
vote.
right now. Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption's winning this. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
So I'm
thought
gonna
this
go-
was from.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with Red Dead and but I can easily see Last of Us 2 winning because I'll be honest, like Sony gamers get a lot more passionate about this stuff than Microsoft gamers generally do.
They're
And
gonna
to their
split the
credit.
vote.
To their credit. So well, anyway, that leaves us one last category and the most important one, and that is Game of the Year. So here are your nominees: Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Super Mario Odyssey, and The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. So let's start with Graham.
Well, I've talked about all these games and all that stuff, so I'm not going to go all over it. I'm just going to tell you Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to win, and that would be my choice.
All right. So Steve.
Persona 5 is my choice, but Mario Odyssey should win, even though it should be Breath of the Wild.
Eugene.
Mm-hmm. My personal choice is Breath of the Wild, and it should be Breath of the Wild. There wasn't a single game this year that captured everyone's attention at the same time like it did. So it should be Breath of the Wild, and it is my personal game of the year.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna be different here, and I'm gonna actually. I think Steve said Odyssey would win. I'm gonna agree there. I think Odyssey will win. And here's why. I just think it's a more broad appeal game. I think Zelda appeals to like a large but specific genre of players or sect of players, and Odyssey is very vast appeal. So I'm gonna give that the nod. Not to say it's a better game. They're both 10s.
Which game would you choose, though?
Odyssey, just because it's more my type of game, and it's not a knock on Zelda. It's like
It's fine.
you're not gonna lose either way.
Go on. Go on. No, I'm kidding.
So- You're not gonna lose either way. They're both fantastic. So I'm gonna say Odyssey would be my pick, and that it will win. Although I wouldn't be surprised at all if Zelda wins. So all right. That's going to do it for our Game Awards prediction segment. Steve, what questions do we have this week?
We just have a couple. We're going to rapid fire answer these. Brian Richland on Facebook asks, what is a
Brian.
gaming franchise that you wish would just go away? One that has been beaten into the ground, or the games have just gotten really bad?
I'll
Tyler.
go first. I'll go first here. So prior to this year, I would have said Assassin's Creed, but they've taken a different approach now, where they seem to be developing games every 3 years instead of every one. So that's nice. I'm gonna say Call of Duty needs to follow that model. They need to stop putting out a game every single year because it's taking away from the quality. So that's my answer. Who wants to go next?
Okay, I can't think of a franchise, but I'm gonna say zombie games. Just let them go away. Let's have like 2 years or
Okay.
something without a saturation of zombies. Maybe 1 or 2, but there's just way too many zombie games. Get rid of them. That's mine. Who's
Eugene?
next?
I think I can't think of any franchise that I want to see go away. I don't want anything to just go away. But I'm gonna agree with you, Tyler, with Call of Duty. I used to love Call of Duty. I used to be obsessed with Call of Duty Online. But after every year iteration, I mean they're they played too much to futuristic gameplay, which World War II, fixed that, but there's still not a huge following behind it. I wish they would take their time, kind of like how Assassin's Creed did. They took a year off, and then now we got Assassin's Creed Origin. They started following that same route. So I can't think of anything that there's not a franchise that I don't think should go away totally. Right. I think Grand Theft Auto is overplayed a little bit, which they deserve everything, all the money that they're getting, all the gameplay, because they do keep up with that game, and they do update it, and they keep their fans, they keep the gameplay alive in that game. But that would probably be the one that I wouldn't care if it went away personally. But I think Call of Duty, they need us. Yeah. They need to not do it every year.
And just real quick, just before Facebook lights up, I know that there's 3 different developers on the Call of Duty team, and that it's a 3-year cycle for each game. It's just oversaturated. That's my only argument there. So, Steve.
Mine is sports games in general. We've talked about this before. I don't know if we've done it on the podcast, but Definitely. They need to go to a once every other year and just update the rosters, or altogether go away to where you pay like $120 to EA for the year and you get all the sports games. Because, it's just, is there really that much of a difference between Madden 17 and Madden 18 or NHL the last 4 years? Not really.
No.
These could have just been gameplay updates.
Agreed.
So that's my thing. All right, last question. So Dylan Anderson on Facebook asks, having finished AC Origins and knowing most of you guys want to play it, what time period and why would draw you in on day one for the next one? So do you have any particular time periods you want to see Assassin's Creed go?
That's a good question. Anyone else have one?
They've covered a lot, eh? They've done the Renaissance. This one's Egypt.
I'll go first. A perfect game that I would love is Greece and Rome back in their heyday.
Okay.
Those are 2 interesting time periods to me. There's a lot of political drama, the Julius Caesar era, stuff like that. That would just be awesome. I'd love to see that, and I would absolutely play it. And since AC Origins has you fighting some of the Egyptian gods, maybe AC.
Whoa.
That was in the trailer, dude.
Okay.
Sorry.
Not that I saw,
but maybe fighting Zeus like God of War. I don't know. That would draw me in. I'd buy that day one.
Okay. I know there's a big, Call of Duty went back to World War II, Battlefield went back to World War I. So something in that era might be kind of fun. I know they did American Revolution, which was kind of cool. How about Russian Revolution? Maybe set in Moscow or something like that. That would be kind of fun. So kind of same era, but just a different event going on. Kind of how they did one around French Revolution, so you could do one around the Russian one. And, there's a lot of political things at play there, and a lot of brutal murders that took place at that time. So there's stuff that could, turn to a good game there too.
I would say something to do with Chinese history. The Chinese culture and history has been around a long time. Yeah,
I was thinking
you got
too,
the Ming Dynasty, the Zhao Dynasty. There's a lot of things that you could do, especially with Assassin's Creed, possibly. But I would like to see something, based on their history, not necessarily Assassin's Creed, but something along those lines.
Okay, Graham.
I'd like to see one based on Canada, because I think Canada has a lot to offer for a game. No.
Because of all your rich history.
Yeah, all our rich history.
Yes, we're going to stealthily get inside Tim Hortons.
I don't really have a definitive answer, but I would say maybe the Aztec days. I don't know if they've had stuff like that with the Mayans and stuff like that, way back, tribal stuff.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
I think that could work.
Definitely. All right.
So that wraps up questions. Thank you, guys.
Right. Yep.
So make sure you submit questions next week. I think we're going to do a couple giveaways between this week and next week. to get our holiday giveaways rolling. We'll be doing those each week through December. So we didn't forget about. We're not going to short anybody. Everybody who had a question this week is entered to win. Make sure you submit questions. If we read them on the show, you're entered to win. Let's get more than 2 people entered, so you have a chance to win something good. That's going to do it, everybody. Unless you guys have anything else.
Do not.
All right. That's going to do it for episode number 72, everyone. Make sure, please head on over to Facebook, follow us there, and join the Gaming Culture Radio forums. Head on over to Twitch, follow us at Gaming Culture Radio. Same thing on Mixer, Gaming Culture Radio, follow us there. And please join in when we do the streams. Makes it a lot more fun when we have people in there chatting with us.
Yeah, let us know what you guys want us to
Yes.
play too, if you have any ideas.
Because last night we played like obscure stuff. We played like Trivial Pursuit, and we actually got some decent feedback.
I had a blast.
Somebody was like, "This is oddly entertaining." So it's and it was fun. It was a nice change of pace, and it was actually fun to play, wasn't it, guys? So
It was very fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Even though I came in strong third place each time, it was
What?
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and plus all you guys can
And
gather
I
and
learned
watch
some
us and
things, too.
scream at us for
Yeah.
taking the wrong answer and all that good stuff. So, all right, but please head on over, follow us at those places, take part, ask questions, do all that good stuff, and remember to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or whatever you listen to us on. All right, that does it for episode number 72. We'll be back next week with episode number 73. Until then, everybody, stay safe and have a great week. Man, play some great games. We'll talk to you in a week.
Care,
All right. See ya, guys.